Very popular superstitions, knocking on wood, black cats, stepping on a crack, and things like that.
Just drink the wine so we can go. Off your phone. Get off your phone.
I wouldn't have to get on.
A young ingenue and their mentor, and the way that relationship can change over time, and betrayal.
A few of the other girls found their person right after that. And the fact that it was right before the Kansas City show, Happy Independence Day from your local single girlies or something like that, not knowing that Travis was going to come to the show.
Welcome to Swiftly Explained, and today we're going line by line through every song and every lyric on the Life of a Showgirl album, unpacking what Taylor really meant, as she talks about Travis, Blake Lively drama, the story behind the diss track about Charlie XCX, grieving a past friendship and wanting to start a family with Travis. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, don't forget to like and subscribe and head over to my Patreon page for more Taylor videos that you won't find anywhere else on the internet. Okay, let's start with the very first track, The Fate of Ophelia. I heard you calling on the megaphone. You want to see me all alone. Right away, Taylor brings us back to how this love story began, with Travis publicly calling her out on the New Heights podcast. He talked about trying to give her a friendship bracelet with his phone number on it. That moment became the modern fairy tale megaphone, a literal broadcast that reached her across the world. In this lyric, the megaphone represents his confidence and his public declaration. As legend has it, you are quite the pyro. You light the match to watch it blow. Taylor shifts into mythic storytelling. She's turning Travis into a legendary hero figure, the pyro, someone who brings heat, energy, and spark wherever he goes. He brought fire into her world again, something that had been cold and numb after years of heartbreak and scrutiny. The line "watch it blow" could even nod to how their relationship blew up in the public eye, but in the best way. And if you'd never come for me, I might have drowned in the melancholy. Taylor is admitting that she was on the verge of emotional exhaustion, still grieving the fallout from her relationships with Joe Alwyn and Maddie Healy. Travis arriving, coming for her, became her lifeline. I swore my loyalty to me, myself. This lyric showcases how Travis came into her life when Taylor decided to stay single and loyal to only herself. She posted these pictures on Instagram on July 7, right before her Kansas City Eras Tour show, which Travis attended. The caption said, "Happy belated Independence Day for your local neighborhood independent girlies." She herself talked about how fateful that post became in her life.
I'm in this picture with a bunch of girls, a lot, not just me and Selena. A few of the other girls found their person right after that. And the fact that it was right before the Kansas City show, where I'd been Happy Independence Day from your local single girlies or something like that. And then the next day go and play in Kansas City, not knowing that Travis was going to come to the show. It's unreal. I look back, it's his birthday, so I'm just thinking about how grateful I am that he exists.
All that time I sat alone in my tower, you were just honing your powers. Taylor's tower symbolizes isolation, the years of creative solitude, breakups, and overexposure. Meanwhile, Travis was out in the world honing his powers, building his career, maturing, and getting ready for a love that required real strength. When she says, "Now I can see it all," she's realizing that the waiting had purpose. They were becoming the people they needed to be for each other. Late one night, you dug me out of my grave and saved my heart from the fate of Ophelia. In Hamlet, Ophelia is a woman destroyed by love, abandoned, silenced, and driven to madness. Taylor is saying that could have been her fate. If she'd stayed in those cycles of heartbreak and public judgment, she might have lost herself too. But Travis's love dug her out. He reached into that loneliness and offered something real. It's about resurrection, being loved back to life. Keep it 100 on the land, the sea, the sky. This line is all about loyalty and commitment. In Taylor's world, keeping it 100 means being fully in, honest, consistent, and devoted. Also, their numbers combined, 13 plus 87 equals to 100. Pledge allegiance to your hands, your team, your vibes. Don't care where the hell you've been, because now you're mine. Your team refers to the Kansas City Chiefs, yes, but symbolically, it means she's part of his life's mission. And the line, "Don't care where you've been," reflects maturity. She's not hung up on his dating history or hers. This is love without insecurity, a kind of peace we've rarely seen in her music before. The eldest daughter of a nobleman, Ophelia lived in fantasy, but love was a cold bed full of scorpions. Here, Taylor revisits the tragic character. Ophelia's downfall was that she believed love would save her, but it destroyed her instead. Taylor is drawing that contrast. Her old relationships were those cold beds full of scorpions. You wrap around me like a chain, a crown, a vine, 3 symbols of power, royalty, and growth. He's not her captor. He's her equal, her mirror, her partner. 'Tis locked inside my memory, and only you possess the key, no longer drowning and deceived, all because you came for me. This is closure. The song ends with the image of memory and key. She's finally letting herself be loved and understood by someone who sees her truth. No longer drowning, circles back to the first verse. She survived the melancholy. The song is basically a resurrection story, the perfect choice for the first single. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the video so far. Track 2 pulls us straight into the glamour and heartbreak of old Hollywood. The song is called Elizabeth Taylor, a nod to one of the most iconic actresses of all time, known for her beauty, her 8 marriages, and her ability to reinvent herself through love and loss. And here's the twist. Elizabeth Taylor's own son once called Taylor Swift and told her that she was just like his mother.
I had just been sent, my parents sent me this clip of Elizabeth Taylor's son saying something very flattering that basically if there was one person he would say he might compare to his mother in modern day in terms of just, I guess, the persona and the whole, chaos going on around us, he said he would say me. I was so flattered by that when I read it. I just immediately started talking to Travis about it. I was just going on and on about Elizabeth Taylor, like talking about all the things about her that I love, all the things that made her so glamorous and funny. And I had to get out of the car. I was like, 1 second, we're parked. I was like, I have to get out of the car for a second, and just sang this melody into my phone, got back in the car, and that's what that's like when that happens.
That view of Portofino was on my mind when you called me at the Plaza Effeni. This line paints a picture of luxury Portofino, Italy, a favorite getaway for the world's most glamorous couples. The Plaza Effeni is a Parisian hotel, and I think Taylor was staying there when Travis called her. Oftentimes, it doesn't feel so glamorous to be me. She's reminding us that fame can be isolating. The dresses, the diamonds, the headlines, they don't erase the loneliness. All the right guys promised they'd stay. Under bright lights, they withered away, but you bloom. This is one of Taylor's sharpest reflections on fame and love. The bright lights are the paparazzi flashes, the spotlight that made her partners uncomfortable or disappear once the attention got too intense. But Travis bloomed. She didn't shrink when the world started watching. He grew stronger beside her. He embraced the attention, stood proudly in the crowd, and cheered for her louder than anyone. And if your letters ever said goodbye, I'd cry my eyes violet. Portofino becomes a symbol of romantic fantasy, the place where love feels eternal. Cry my eyes violet ties back to Elizabeth Taylor's famous violet-colored eyes. It's a poetic way of saying she'd cry herself into the image of her namesake if Travis ever leaves her. It's heartbreak and beauty fused into one, just like Elizabeth Taylor herself. Elizabeth Taylor, do you think it's forever? Been number 1, but I never had 2, and I can't have fun if I can't have. Here, Taylor's talking directly to Elizabeth Taylor, almost like a prayer to a kindred spirit. Been number 1 nods to her success. She's the biggest artist on the planet, but I never had 2 means she's never had the second half, the forever partner. The unfinished lyric, if I can't have, leaves space for emotion. It's a pause filled with longing. It's vulnerable, it's cinematic, it's Taylor Swift stripped of irony. Be my NY when Hollywood hates me. You're only as hot as your last hit, baby. This lyric is pure Taylor wit. Hollywood in this context means the industry, the critics, the fair weather fame. She's saying, when the world turns its back, be my home. And that next line, you're only as hot as your last hit, shows her awareness of fame's fragility. She knows it can all vanish, but his love feels permanent. Hey, what could you possibly get for the girl who has everything and nothing all at once? Babe, I would trade the Cartier for someone to trust. Just kidding. This is classic Taylor humor, but also heartbreak. She's winking at her own privilege, saying she can buy jewels and gowns, but trust is priceless. The just kidding is how she deflects vulnerability, something she's done her whole career. We hit the best booth at Lusso and Frank's. They say I'm bad news. I just say thanks. Mosso and Frank's is one of Hollywood's oldest restaurants. It's where legends go. Taylor and Travis reportedly had a date there, echoing Elizabeth Taylor's old Hollywood era. They say I'm bad news. Critics, tabloids, haters, she's heard it all. But instead of hiding, she smiles and says thanks. And Travis, you look at me like you're hypnotized. So he doesn't see bad news. He sees the woman behind the fame. And if you ever leave me high and dry, I'd cry my eyes violet. Here, the song comes full circle. Taylor acknowledges her fear. Losing this love would break her. But she's not singing from sadness, she's singing from awareness. She knows love is fragile, but she's brave enough to feel it anyway. When she sings, "All my white diamonds and lovers are forever," she's referencing Elizabeth Taylor's iconic perfume, White Diamonds, but also her own immortality through love and art. Her songs and relationships have been frozen in time, just like Elizabeth's glamorous yet tragic life. Then, in the papers, on the screen, and in their minds, that's Taylor describing how her image exists everywhere, in the tabloids, on TV, in fans' imaginations. Like Elizabeth Taylor, she's not just a person anymore, she's an idea. A character that the world consumes, interprets, and sometimes distorts. This is Taylor's commentary on celebrity as immortality. The line, "Don't you ever end up anything but mine," refers to Travis. She wants him to be hers only. She doesn't want him to end up anywhere else but beside her. This is the kind of eternal love she has been trying to find since day one, and now it's finally hers. Track 3 is called Opalite, a song that shimmers like the stone it's named after. Opalite isn't a natural gem. It's man-made glass that glows milky blue, symbolizing healing, transformation, and new beginnings. Opal is the October birthstone, and October just happens to be Travis Kelce's birth month. This is Taylor's love letter to him, the man who turned her storms into light.
When we go through something that doesn't work out, we oftentimes look at it as this like major setback. But actually, I've found that so many of those instances in my life can catapult you forward in growth, in wisdom, in perspective. And so Opalite is a song about like kind of forgiving yourself for having gone through something that didn't pan out the way you wanted it to. Because it says, you know, all of the perfect couples like would look at you and say like, when you know, and when you don't, you don't. And when you're not in that situation, when you don't know, you know that you don't know.
You know that you don't know.
And so it's giving yourself permission to like not have it all figured out or not marry the first person you ever dated.
I had a bad habit of missing lovers past. My brother used to call it eating out of the trash. Taylor opens with brutal honesty, a confession about her emotional patterns. She's admitting that she used to revisit the ghosts of her exes, Joe Alwyn, Maddie Healy, scrolling, remembering, wondering what if. Her brother, Austin, calling it eating out of the trash is darkly funny, but it's true. She's acknowledging the way heartbreak can make you cling to the very pain that hurt you. It's never gonna last. I thought my house was haunted. I used to live with ghosts. Here she's not talking about literal spirits. The ghosts are her memories. The rooms of her life were filled with echoes of love lost. Every corner of her fame, every song, had traces of someone who left. And all the perfect couples said, "When you know, you know. When you don't, you don't." This line refers to how there's no real formula to finding the right one or true love. You just know when it happens, or you don't. Then she admits, and all of the foes and all of the friends have seen it before. They'll see it again. Life is a song. It ends when it ends. I was wrong. She says all of her friends and enemies have seen her go through the exact same things over and over again about heartbreak. But my mama told me, it's all right. You were dancing through the lightning strikes, sleepless in the onyx night. But now the sky is opalite. This is where the transformation begins. Her mother's advice, it's all right, echoes the same comfort she's heard since her teens. The lightning strikes are the chaos of her public life, the media storms. She was sleepless in the onyx night, surrounded by darkness, but now the sky is opalite. She's healing, and the world feels luminous, like Travis brought color back into her world. Oh my lord, never made no one like you before. You had to make your own sunshine, but now the sky is opalite. Here she's talking directly to Travis, to someone who built his own light, self-made, hard-working, not from the Hollywood scene. Together, their worlds merge, her sky and his fire meet, and the result is opalite, soft, peaceful, glowing. You couldn't understand it, why you felt alone, you were in it for real, she was in her phone, and you were just a pose. This verse shifts perspective, now it's about his past. She's referencing Travis's ex, Nicole, subtly but clearly, describing how he was ready for real connection while his partner seemed distracted, disconnected in her phone.
Hug it. Just drink the wine so we can go.
I love it here. Wouldn't have to go on social media.
Get off your phone.
I wouldn't have to get on social media and seek validation.
You're not even
From a
drinking.
bunch of strangers
You're not
on the
even drinking
internet.
your wine anymore. Can we go?
You were just a pose means he was used for appearance, not emotion. Taylor's saying she sees that, she understands what he went through, and she won't repeat it. And don't we try to love? We give it all we got. You finally left the table. This is a massive callback to her folklore-era lyric, I'm still at the restaurant, still sitting in a corner I haunt from right where you left me. In Opalite, she's finally left that table. She's gotten up, moved on, and found someone new to sit beside. It's one of the most symbolic acts of healing she's ever written. And what a simple thought. You're starving till you're not. This line captures how love can feel sudden. You're starving for affection for years, and then, one day, you're full. This is just a storm inside a teacup. But shelter here with me. Taylor's using British idiom here. A storm in a teacup means small chaos exaggerated by stress. She's comforting him, saying, whatever happens, fame, pressure, noise, it's temporary. Thunder like a drum connects to his football career, the roar of crowds, the hits, the energy, but she's offering peace inside that storm. Her message, come home to calm. This is just a temporary speed bump, but failure brings you freedom, and I can bring you love. Here she's being his voice of reason when the world criticizes or pressures him, she reframes it. Failure isn't shame, it's release. The failure could also hint at the numerous times the Chiefs have lost the games despite giving their best. Travis was also blamed multiple times for not performing well. She is consoling him and telling him everything will be all right, and she will always love him no matter what he goes through. Basically, the entire song is about Taylor letting go of her ghosts, stepping away from the haunted house of her past and walking into a new home, one filled with laughter, football games, and peace. Track 4 on The Life of a Showgirl takes us somewhere much darker. It's called Father Figure, and it isn't about romance. It's about power, control, betrayal, and the high price of mentorship in the music industry. This is Taylor Swift confronting the man who helped build her empire, and then sold it, Scott Borchetta, founder of Big Machine Records. The song plays out like a movie, a dialogue between the father figures who discovered her and the daughter who outgrew him. Taylor has confessed that she relates to both of the characters in the song because she has been both in her life.
Protege, mentor, and the relationship between the two, right? And the power dynamics and sort of the idea that the power could flip and somebody could betray somebody. That's so fun to write. And this is written from the perspective of the mentor, to the protege. I've completely related to the protege perspective in so many of these situations, right? Like I relate to the younger one. When I'm listening to this song,
a young ingenue and their mentor, and the way that relationship can change over time, and betrayal and wit. It ends up in a who's going to win situation, who's going to outplay the other, who's going to outfox the other.
When I found you, you were young, wayward, lost in the cold. Pulled up to you in the jeg, turned your rags into gold. The winding road leads to the chateau. This is Scott's voice, polished, powerful, persuasive. He's painting himself as the savior, the man who discovered her, who lifted her from obscurity and brought her into luxury. The chateau is his record label, Big Machine, the castle where he promises protection. It's a familiar setup. The fatherly mentor and the grateful prodigy, but Taylor's already hinting that this love was transactional. You remind me of a younger me. I saw potential. I'll be your father figure. I drink that brown liquor. I can make deals with the devil. Here, his tone shifts. Pride turns into arrogance. The brown liquor, bourbon whiskey, is a real-life nod to Scott Borchetta's involvement in bourbon branding. It's an image of an industry man who drinks, brags, and boasts about power. I can make deals with the devil. He's saying he's willing to do whatever it takes to make money. And that crude final line? It's his ego. His belief that power makes him untouchable. This love is pure profit. Just step into my office. I dry your tears with my sleeve. Leave it with me. I protect the family. This is still the record executive speaking. The false promise of protection. This love is pure profit. He's calling their partnership love, but really, it's business. Leave it with me. I protect the family. That's him assuring her he'll take care of everything. Her masters, her brand, her legacy. But we all know what happened. When it mattered most, he didn't protect the family, so he sold it. I pay the check before it kisses the mahogany grain. Said, they want to see you rise. They don't want you to reign. I showed you all the tricks of the trade. All I ask for is your loyalty. Now it's Taylor's voice, poised, calm, but sharp. She's the one making him money, paying the checks before they hit the table. She's repeating his words back to him, the things he told her while shaping her career. Taylor became the father figure for new artists in the music industry like Olivia and Sabrina. She is talking about how she showed them all the tricks of the industry. She has paved the way for them, and in return, she only wants their loyalty to her. The next verse. Your thoughtless ambition sparked the ignition on foolish decisions, which led to misguided visions, that to fulfill your dreams, you had to get rid of me. Now Taylor turns the mirror. She's calling him out, saying that his ambition and foolish decisions led him to sell her masters to Scooter Braun's company. The betrayal wasn't accidental, it was strategic. To fund his own future, he sold hers. You had to get rid of me. That's the moment the mentor becomes the villain. This is where Taylor reclaims the narrative. She's mocking his old bravado, turning his words back on him. Turns out my thing is bigger isn't vulgarity, it's defiance. It's her saying, I outplayed you. She didn't give up. She re-recorded her masters instead. I got the place surrounded. This is Taylor's army, her fans. When the Masters controversy broke, Swifties mobilized across the internet. They flooded headlines, boycotted, and stood guard around her name. Sleeping with the fishes, a classic mafia metaphor, means he's already irrelevant before he realizes it. Whose portrait's on the mantle? G's reminding him, my face built your empire. And who covered up your scandals? She's the one who made him look good, who kept his label thriving. Find your card canceled, that's poetic justice. She left Big Machine, signed with Republic Records, and took back her freedom. The empire belongs to me, meaning her catalog, her art, her fans, her narrative. And I protect the family. That's her mission statement. She's protecting the music, the fans, the legacy, everything that was nearly taken away. Track 5, the emotional centerpiece of every Taylor Swift album. And on the life of a showgirl, that heartbreaker is Eldest Daughter. It's not just a love song, it's a confession. It's Taylor letting her guard down, talking about the pressure of being the eldest daughter's type, responsible, protective, independent. But more than anything, it's about how Travis Kelce helped her rediscover softness and the innocence she thought she'd lost. In the first verse, Taylor starts by reflecting on the culture around her, the cold, ironic world of social media, where no one really cares, and everyone hides emotion behind jokes.
First verse of Eldest Daughter is somebody trying to figure out how to say things that they've read on the internet, whether it be like apathy is hot or memes and trolling, and how do I keep up with how we're supposed to talk in order to describe how much we don't care when really we all care about something, right? So then you go to the pre-chorus and I go more into my own voice of I've been afflicted by a terminal uniqueness. I've been dying just from trying to seem cool. That's the tempo. So that's the kind of flip of every way in which I was speaking in this entire first verse was me trying to assimilate to the way culture tells us to be.
She's describing what it's like to live online as Taylor Swift, constantly judged, memmed, analyzed, never allowed to be vulnerable. This is the world she existed in when Travis found her. When you found me, I said I was busy. That was a lie. I think this line refers to how she tried to push Travis away, at first saying she was busy with the Eras tour, but she was lying. In verse 3, Taylor's being brutally honest about her image. Terminal uniqueness, the feeling that you're so different that no one could ever understand you. It's the loneliness of fame, and the exhaustion of pretending to be unbothered. But I'm never gonna let you down. I'm never gonna leave you out. It's a vow not just to Travis but to herself. After everything, The heartbreaks, betrayals, and lessons, she's finally found someone she can trust. Verse 4 is pure nostalgia. Taylor's describing how Travis makes her laugh, genuinely, uncontrollably, like a kid again. The memory of falling and breaking her arm adds depth. It's her way of saying, I've learned that joy and pain can happen together. Even when she's happy, she's aware of the fragility of it all, but she still chooses joy. Pretty soon, I learned cautious discretion. When your first crush crushes something kind. When I said I don't believe in marriage, that was a lie. This is one of the most revealing lines on the album. Pretty soon, I learned cautious discretion. That's her growing up in the spotlight, learning to protect herself after every heartbreak. When your first crush crushes something kind, it's about that first betrayal that teaches you to close off. And the final line, when I said I don't believe in marriage, that was a lie, is a callback to Lavender Haze, where she denied wanting marriage because Joe Alwyn didn't. Now she's admitting the truth. She does believe in it, she just needed to meet someone who did too. Every eldest daughter was the first lamb to the slaughter, so we all dressed up as wolves and we looked fire. This is the thesis of the song. Eldest daughter represents every woman who had to grow up too fast, carry the weight of others, and learn to look strong even when she was breaking. So we all dressed up as wolves. Taylor's talking about armor. The independence, the confidence, it was a disguise for survival. But underneath, she's still soft, still wants to be loved. Verse 6 is cinematic, a slow montage of simple, happy moments. It's her saying, I found what I thought I'd never find again. The Ferris wheels and lilacs are symbols of innocence, the carefree sweetness she lost after years of public heartbreak. And now, with Travis, she's found that light again, the childlike joy of loving without fear. Every youngest child felt. They were raised up in the wild. But now you're home. This line ties everything together, because Travis is the youngest child in his family. It's her message to him. You've always been wild and free, raised in chaos, but now you're home. It's the perfect mirror, the eldest daughter and the youngest son, meeting halfway between structure and spontaneity. Track 6 takes us far from the glitz and glamour of the stage, back to Taylor's teenage years in Hendersonville, Tennessee. It's called Ruin the Friendship, and it's one of the most emotional songs she's ever written. Because this time, she's not talking about fame or heartbreak or revenge. She's talking about loss, about a best friend she never got to say goodbye to properly. His name was Jeff Lang, Taylor's high school best friend. They were inseparable. They joked, they dreamed, they grew up together. But when he passed away at just 21 years old, Taylor carried that guilt, that what if, for years. This song is her letter to him. In the first verse, Taylor sets the scene like a movie. It's a Tennessee autumn, the smell of rain, the hum of traffic, the familiar glow of headlights on Gallatin Road. She's remembering the small town days, the late night drives, the laughter, the simplicity before fame. You can almost feel the teenage nostalgia, the kind that makes your heart ache in the best way. The next lines are the center of the song, the thing she's never said out loud before. There was something unspoken between them, a quiet, mutual affection that never crossed the line. So he had a girlfriend, she had her own path, but the feeling was there. And now, in hindsight, she realizes she should have said something, should have taken that risk, even if it ruined the friendship. Second verse paints the picture of prom, that bittersweet teenage milestone. She's there with her date, he's there too, but their eyes meet across the dance floor. The disco ball spins, the song changes, and she knows. There's that spark, but she can't act on it. Taylor often uses pop culture to timestamp her memories, and the 50 Cent song anchors this to the early 2000 seconds. It's playful, but the ache is real. It wasn't the right time, it wasn't the right situation, but emotionally, it was the moment. And she let it slip. Don't make it awkward in second period. Might piss your ex off. Lately we've been good. Staying friends is safe. Doesn't mean you should. Verse 4 is all about that familiar push-pull of teenage love. Keeping things safe, staying friends, not wanting to ruin what you have. When I left school, I lost track of you. Abigail called me with the bad news. Goodbye, and we'll never know why. In verse 5 comes the heartbreak. After high school, Taylor left to chase her dream in Nashville. Life moved fast. And then one day, a call came from her best friend, Abigail, the same one from 15. Jeff was gone. Taylor sang at his funeral, one of the hardest moments of her life. And this lyric captures that haunting guilt, the feeling of we'll never know why.
It's been a really emotional week. Yesterday, I sang at the funeral of one of my best friends, and he was 21, and I used to play my songs for him first. So I would like to thank Jeff Lang. And
the final verse describes Taylor as the true storyteller, no longer the heartbroken teen, but the grown woman who's learned what regret really feels like. She's not just singing to Jeff anymore, she's talking to us, to every listener who's ever held back out of fear. Always ruin the friendship doesn't mean destroy it. It means be honest. Tell people how you feel while you still can, because some chances don't come twice. This video's getting longer than I expected, so head over to part 2 to continue decoding every lyric on the next 6 songs on the album.